Welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to hear my trading and market updates. This is Uncle Frank, and I'm not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Please remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the presentation, and be sure to subscribe to the channel so you're alerted when I have new information to share. So now let's get into the latest updates. Hey, welcome back everyone. So before I begin, let me see if we can identify all the players we're up against while we're waiting for this court decision to drop. Let's start with our old friend Antara Capital. They're facing federal securities litigation seeking the return of its alleged short swing profits. The lawsuit filed by two AMC investors accuses the hedge fund, its affiliates, and founder Himanshu Gulati of making more than $20 million on sales of APE units and AMC common stock purchased less than 6 months earlier. Federal securities laws require corporate leaders and major stockholders to give such short swing profits back to the company, a rule meant to curb insider trading. We could use that money to pay down some debt. Now, Antara was launched in 2018 with money from Blackstone. Those were the guys that back in 2015, along with KKR and TPG Capital, agreed to pay $325 million to settle litigation alleging they colluded to keep leveraged buyout prices low. Let me say that again. They colluded to keep leverage buyout prices low. Antara is also listed as a current short seller of AMC, and many apes believe that Adam Aron may have colluded with Antara to rig the recent shareholder vote. Then there's Citi. That's AMC's investment banker, underwriter of our preferred share ape, who is also listed as a short seller of AMC and assigned a sell rating to AMC with a price target of $1.65. And of course, there's Bank of America, a frequent short seller of AMC, once listed in the top 10 short sellers of our company, actually. And I find it unsettling that the bank that once needed billions from taxpayers to be bailed out spends its time shorting a 100-year-old American company that employs over 31,000 people so it can profit from the misery of the pandemic. Another short seller of ours is Highbridge Capital. They are wholly owned by JP Morgan Chase and manage money for Jeffrey Epstein. And there's the guys that took away the buy button when they were about to lose it all, Robinhood. Recently, they came under fire from Adam Aron for posting that AMC was bankrupt. Adam threatened a lawsuit. None was ever filed to my knowledge as usual, but AMC has lost around $640 million in market cap since then. And then there's Robinhood's old payment for order flow partner Citadel, epic short seller of AMC, and has the distinction of being fined and or censured 59 times in the past 15 years for alleged transgressions by regulators. In 2021, Adam was named as a director of a company named Centricus, at least in part owned by Citadel and located in the Cayman Islands, but Adam Aron called it FUD without denying the appointment. In June of this year, Citadel accused SEC Chair Gary Gensler of market manipulation. Citadel alleged Gensler shorted crypto-focused stocks like AMC Theaters and GameStop via Vanguard Group and BlackRock. You should recognize those names because they're the two biggest money managers in the world. And then there's the DTCC, which is owned by our favorite banks and brokers and was accused in being instrumental in the removal of the buy button over at Robinhood. From the article, plaintiffs allege that Apex, along with 30 other brokerages, trading firms, and or clearing firms, including Morgan Stanley, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, Barclays, Citadel, and DTCC engaged in a coordinated conspiracy in violation of antitrust laws to prevent retail customers from operating and trading freely in a conspiracy to allow certain of the other defendants, primarily hedge funds, to stop losing money on short sale positions in GameStop, AMC, and certain other securities. The global head of operations at Citadel has a board seat at DTCC. Oh, and that brings me to Morgan Stanley, who not only sits on the AMC board, but runs the board of directors in the way of Philip Lader, senior advisor to Morgan Stanley Institutional Trading. Adam Aron specifically added Mr. Lader to the pricing committee of the recent APE conversion and split plan. Mr. Lader sold 14,000 shares of AMC stock on June 19th of 2021 at a price of $49.53 and is receiving stock to this day. By the close of 2022, Morgan Stanley had $123 billion in securities sold under agreements to repurchase, so don't worry, I'm sure Phil has your back. And then there's the market makers, Citadel, Virtu, Goldman. To say that AMC is the most spoofed and manipulated stock on the New York Stock Exchange is no exaggeration. And even though Virtu, for example, is being sued for spoofing, I doubt it will go anywhere. And now let's chat about the regulators, starting with the SEC. I could go on here for 2 hours, but I promise I won't. Gary presides over the most corrupt stock market in U.S. history, and I'm not expecting any help from Hester either. That's her, drinking from an I Love Citadel mug, and if you think that's meaningless, then you need to lay off the weed gummy bears. And then there's the Limit Up, Limit Down committee. If you've ever traded AMC, then you know it doesn't always get halted when it drops suddenly, but it sure gets halted quick when it spikes. 10 times on its very first day. I call them the new taking away the buy button, and their advisory committee includes all of our favorites, BlackRock, Goldman, Citadel, and Virtu. And finally, there's FINRA, the SEC's mentally disabled little brother. All you have to do is read their mission statement, and I dare you not to laugh before you finish. Every investor in America relies on one thing: fair financial markets to protect investors and ensure the market's integrity. FINRA is a government-authorized, not-for-profit organization that oversees U.S. broker-dealers. We work every day to ensure that everyone can participate in the market with confidence. And guys, don't think our list of enemies ends there. If you think the politicians that take money from these entities, or the Treasury Department, or the Department of Justice are falling over themselves to help us, I can promise you they certainly are not. So when people come at me who have been screwed 100 times over in the past 3 years and tell me the answer is a mass conversion of APE, a mass dilution, followed by a reverse split, all designed by Citibank, Antara, Adam Aron, and Morgan Stanley, I have to laugh out loud. This conversion may provide capital for AMC, but it will also provide millions and millions of freshly minted AMC shares, just the thing the shorts need. And if you think a reverse split won't be followed by our stock being shorted into the dust, then you haven't been paying attention since this thing started. To be honest, guys, I don't know if the creation of APE was legal. I don't know if the vote was rigged. I don't know if Allegheny was put up for this lawsuit to give protection from future legal actions. What I do know 100% is I will never trust a management team that sold over $1 billion of our stock over the past 5 years and never bought a single share. Increased their cash and stock bonuses even during the pandemic while we worked our asses off supporting and trying to save this company. If it's proven the creation of APE or the vote was illegitimate, some people need to be held responsible. At the time of this recording, I'm happy to report that the cost to borrow fee has increased even further to 977.39% for AMC. I know you've seen this up here before, but having the cost to borrow this high going into a decision like this is a significant thing. And I could say the same thing about AMC remaining on the NYSE see list of threshold securities going into this pending decision. Bottom line, we own the float. They haven't covered yet. And in my opinion, a black or white swan is the only thing that will get our enemies to turn on each other. I will never tell you to buy, sell, or hold any security or cryptocurrency. As for me, speaking only for myself, I am not selling a single share until they cover in earnest. Now, I know you're all excited about getting the decision, as I am. However, if it doesn't come over the next 5 days, that may not be the worst thing in the world. Maybe it would be better if we get it on the heels of a huge, successful Mission Impossible debut. You never know. We might set another food and beverage record. Here's a headline from Deadline. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, lighting up 6 to 7 million in previews. Early box office look. That was just from Tuesday. And from Variety, box office Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, aims for $90 million 5-day debut. I mean, we might do 100 million. You never know. So don't be too upset if we don't get it right away. Maybe it would be better if we get it after we ring up another blockbuster. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.